This isn't a story about luck. It's a story about survival, resilience, and turning deep personal pain into a powerful global purpose. This is the story of Simon Squibb. Simon Squibb was born in the United Kingdom, but his childhood was far from the stable, loving environment most of us imagine. From a very early age, his life was defined by uncertainty. His family broke apart, and that fundamental sense of safety that a child needs simply wasn't there for him. The situation went from bad to worse, and by the age of just 15, Simon found himself homeless. Imagine that for a moment. No bedroom to call your own, no permanent address, no one asking where you'll sleep that night. While other teenagers were thinking about school, friends, and their futures, Simon was focused on something far more basic, just surviving the day. The cold, unforgiving streets of the UK became his classroom. The lessons he learned there weren't from books. They were harsh, practical, and immediate. He learned about hunger, about rejection, and about the chilling indifference of the world. Very early on, Simon was forced to accept one brutal truth. If you do and take complete responsibility for your own life, absolutely no one else will. This wasn't a motivational quote on a poster. It was his daily reality. Living on the streets forced him to interact with strangers every single day. He had to learn how to talk to people, how to quickly read their emotions, and how to ask for help without appearing weak or losing his dignity. Most importantly, he learned how to sell ideas, sometimes just to earn enough money for a single meal. Without even realizing it, he was building the raw, unfiltered foundations of entrepreneurship. As time went on, Simon managed to find small jobs. Nothing glamorous, just basic work with long hours and low pay. But each opportunity was a lesson. Instead of just being grateful for a paycheck, he became intensely curious. His mindset began to shift. He stopped asking, "How do I survive?" and started asking more profound questions like, "How does this business actually work? And why do some companies succeed while others fail miserably?" That curiosity, born from a place of desperation, changed everything. Simon didn't go to business school. He didn't have mentors in expensive suits. He learned business from the ground up, in the real world. He learned by watching others, by trying things himself, by failing, and by stubbornly refusing to quit. Eventually, he took a leap and started his first business. It wasn't perfect, and it certainly wasn't an instant success, but it worked. It generated income. It gave him a foothold. So he started another business, and then another. Some of them failed spectacularly. Others found their footing and succeeded. With each venture, whether it was a win or a loss, he became smarter, stronger, and more resilient. The lessons from the street-reading people, being persistent, taking responsibility, were now being applied in the world of commerce. Over time, Simon built a significant company in the creative and marketing industry. Through sheer persistence, relentless learning, and an unbreakable work ethic, the business grew and grew. And then, the moment that seems like the end of the fairy tale happened. Years later, that company was sold for millions of pounds. The boy who once slept on park benches, who worried about where his next meal would come from, had become a multi-millionaire, a successful entrepreneur. He had made it. But instead of feeling fulfilled, Simon felt something completely unexpected, a profound sense of emptiness. He had climbed the mountain of success, reached the summit, and found that the view wasn't what he expected. The money was there, but the meaning was missing. This led him to ask himself a much deeper, more important question. If success only ends with money, then what is the point of it all? In that moment of reflection, Simon's mind went back to his darkest days. He remembered what it felt like to be homeless, invisible, and alone. He remembered how all he ever needed back then wasn't charity, and it wasn't sympathy. It was just one opportunity, one person to believe in him, one open door. That powerful realization changed the entire direction of his life. Simon Squibb made a bold, life-altering decision. He decided he would dedicate his time, his money, and all of his energy to helping other people start their own businesses. Not through expensive online courses or fake promises of getting rich quick, but through real, honest conversations and genuine, tangible support. He launched a mission with a clear and ambitious goal: to help 1 million people start a business. And so, in a strange full-circle moment, Simon began going back into the streets. But this time, he wasn't there looking for help. He was there to offer it. He would approach complete strangers and ask them simple but incredibly powerful questions. What is your dream? What business would you start if fear wasn't holding you back? And then, he wouldn't just walk away. He would listen, and he would help them take the first real, practical steps toward making that dream a reality. His raw, honest approach resonated with millions. Videos of these street-side conversations started spreading like wildfire across TikTok, Instagram, and right here on YouTube. People weren't connecting with Simon because he was a rich guy. They were connecting with him because he was real. He was authentic. He was the guy who had been through it all and came out the other side wanting to give back. His advice is always simple, direct, and actionable. He often says things like, "Start before you're ready. You don't need permission from anyone to begin." And perhaps his most important message: fear is the biggest prison of all. Today, Simon Squibb is not just an entrepreneur. He's a mentor, a speaker, and a living symbol of what is possible when someone refuses to let their past define their future. His story proves, beyond any doubt, that where you start in life does not have to determine where you finish. From homelessness to incredible financial success, and then from that success to a life of purpose, Simon Squibb turned his deepest pain into a global impact. He is now opening doors for others, precisely because no one opened them for him. His journey leaves us with a powerful question to reflect on. What would you do if you were in his place? Thanks so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more content like this. We'll see you in the next one.